They tryna mess with your mind or something. They tryna play with your grind or something. They wanna see you back off of your calling, yet they tryna mess with your shine or something. For lack of a vision, and people could perish, commit to the climb, even when it hurts. Only two things in life you can control is how you spend time and how hard you work. So hard work, God first, yeah. Hard work, God first, yeah. Hard work, God first, yeah. To the day I'm in the dirt, yeah. Jesus Christ is Lord, yeah. I know who I serve, yeah. We already won. We already won. It's already done. Already. It's already done. Already. We already won. Already. We already won. Already. Yeah. Once upon a time.
I got everything connected. I got the intake manifold back on. I got all the sensors, everything plugged in. All the coil packs plugged in. I figured out a way how to get the intake manifold lid back on. What I had to do, I had to kind of fix that hole there, bring it up a lot higher, JB weld it and paint it black, and now I could bolt it on and I could use this lid. A lot of people don't use their lids because they don't know how to get them on, but I'll show you what I did. Okay, so the original plate, you see where it hooks up into. I actually drilled 2 new holes in it, moved it forward, and it works fine. The reason why they don't put them on, because the sensor's in a way and there's nowhere to put the bolt. So I figured out if you lift up the hole right here, you can actually get a bolt to fit right in that bracket I made, like right where my fingertips at. And you get a smaller bolt just to fit right in there to lock it in, and you'll be good to go. Show you a few things I had to do to get this intake manifold to work. First of all, the sensor, this sensor right here is out of my original intake manifold. You could use the 6.2 one, but it's a whole lot of trouble. You're gonna have to tune it and everything else. So use your original one. Just make a couple brackets like I did to pin it in. As long as it don't fall out, you'll be doing good. Another thing is this plug. I had to open this loom all the way up, pull the wire back, and then tape it all back up. So I got all this nicely taped back up so it'll Y back out the way it's supposed to. Another thing I had to make is this adapter here in order to get my EGR plug to plug in here. I ran a 3/8 braided hose on it and plugged it in here, and that'll work perfectly. Now on this bracket here, you can go ahead and order the bracket, but the TBSS intake manifold is smaller, and this is made for that. So you are going to have to, I don't know if you can see it right here, I had to cut it out so that way it could move back and forth to give you adjustment on your cable. The thing I had to do to the lid was to cut this hole out bigger so that way the 92 millimeter, I don't know if you guys see it with all the shine of the light, but the 92 millimeter would show right here and it wouldn't block it off. So I think it looks pretty good. Big the intake manifold is, look how high that comes up really high. So I checked it and it doesn't hit here, so we're good with that. I did put the E85 bypass on this side and the fuel pressure regulator on that side because there's no room back here with all the fill lines and stuff to fit anything, so both of them would not fit here. I had braided line running all through here long enough, did all the stuff I had to do. You know, you could start the truck, run the truck and everything, but you couldn't run the E85 sensor or bypass because the braided hose I was using wouldn't hold up with E85. So I had to go ahead and order some hose for E85. It's right there. You can see the white ring in there. It's really good hose. I bought it on Amazon. It comes with all the fittings. So, and it's actually, the fittings on here are different. They hold a lot more pressure. And it comes with a whole bunch of fittings in there. So this will work out good for me. I even went and bought a wrench that's made for these kind of fittings, so that way I don't scar them up, don't mess them up. Fittings I had before and they wouldn't work, and you could see how they're shaped different. See how I scarred them up? That's why I bought the wrench. Anyway, so this hose right here is what I had before. It won't work. It's just regular braided 3/8 hose, fuel line hose. I went ahead, I bought this right here. It's like factory wire, car wire, so that way I ain't running speaker wires and I don't feel stupid with it, you know. I guess it's OCD. I like having the right stuff. And I'm gonna show you guys this. So I went and bought these. These are pins that go into the computer, and actually without them I wouldn't even attempt to try to plug into my computer. You can see the little hole in there. They're made for GM, and this wire and this just makes me feel 1,000,000 times more comfortable. Something else I did, I ran the 6.0 badge on the valve covers. I think those look pretty good. Let me know in the comments if you guys like them. I done that. I also had to upgrade on this because it's a bigger throttle body, and my black one wouldn't work. I ain't got nothing clipped up right now, but I'll go ahead and clip that up later on. Talk to you guys about heads and the difference between 243s and 317s. I know in my last video I told you guys I'm gonna show you guys a trick on how to build up your 317s to act like 243s. Well, it's not hard. Okay, so we're gonna go with the specs on 243s. The specs on 243s is intake 210 cc, exhaust 75 cc, intake valve 2-inch, exhaust valve 1.55 inch. Okay, now I'm gonna read the specs on a 317 head. Intake 210 cc, exhaust 75 cc, intake valve 2-inch, exhaust valve 1.55 inch. Exactly the same porting and everything in both heads. Okay, 317, 799s, and 243. Same porting, same everything internal. Okay, so now we're looking, what's the difference? The difference is the 317 has a 71 cc combustion chamber. 243s have a 64.45 combustion chamber. There's not much difference. If you force feed these 317s with enough gas and enough air mixture, I promise you they'll wake up and they'll do some horsepower. Don't worry about it. And the best thing about 317s, they'll hold a lot more horsepower than your 243s. So if you're planning on doing a turbo or supercharge, hold on to them. I'm doing the E85 with a bypass on it. I'm bumping up my fuel pressure. I'm doing bigger injectors. I'm doing a bigger intake manifold, bigger throttle body to get more air. I'm doing adapters on this with the rectangle port. So there's a lot going on here. More going on here than you think. And plus I'm doing a bigger fill pump. So all you gotta do is force feed these heads, and I promise you'll get the horsepower out of them. Last thing I'm gonna say about these heads, compression always helps. LQ4 came with 9.4 to 1 compression. LQ9s came with 10 to 1 compression. Okay, so we got the fuel regulator here. Feed, outlet, in the bottom here there's a return. So the outlet right here is actually gonna go to the 40T bypass, and then that's gonna go back into the fill rail. So I'm gonna start here and do some measuring and get that all lined up. Hey guys, so you can see I'm at 45 inches, which should be more than enough. I actually went a little bit longer than I need to. That way we can actually curl the line and move it where we need it. Excuse my desk. Been doing so much work lately that everything's just a mess. Always make sure you put tape around your braided line before you cut it. What I'm going to be using is my angle grinder to cut it, because it is stainless steel, so you want to cut through it real nice and clean. So you can actually see all the steel in here. This is actually reinforced pretty good. I'm using a 180 right here, and that actually run right behind the fuel regulator, go behind the intake manifold, and then go to the bypass. I had to recut it because I messed up the cut on it. But there she is. I guess I don't know everything. There we go, all tightened up, no scars on it. All you want to do is get this nice and snug. Don't over tighten it. That line behind the intake and back around to here. And if I use this fitting here, just a straight fitting, this line will actually curl in a perfect position. So that would work out. I got the right length and everything, so I'm glad I ain't got to cut it again. But we got this line almost ready to go. This wrench right here, guys, is a really good wrench. It doesn't leave any scarring or anything on your fittings, but in tight spots like this, with the air conditioning valve right here, I couldn't get to it, so I put some tape on this wrench here. As you can see, no scars, no nothing, and it worked out. I can't stress this enough. Do not over tighten your fittings because they are aluminum. You can strip them really easy. Just get them nice and snugged up. You'll be good to go. Okay guys, I'm gonna call it a video. I only got a couple things to do here. All I gotta do is run the fill line to the E85 bypass, run the white wire to the PCM, the red wire to the fuse box over there, and then all the fuel system would be set up. Only other thing I have to do is get underneath here, underneath the driver's door, change out the fill filter. I am putting a K&N fill filter in it, and then I'm gonna pop the bed up and go ahead and replace the fill pump with the E85 fill pump. Anyway, but that's it. After that, that'll be in the next video. That'll be part 4, and pretty much it'll be finished. And I wanted to show you guys what I did lately, a little update on what I've been doing to the truck. So basically, it's got new slotted rotors, new brakes, new leaf springs, new shocks, now a new rear end, 411 rear end, positive traction. It's got all new suspension. I actually did everything all red and black to match everything else. And there you go. Got all the calipers, everything all red and black. All the suspension under there is all red and black. Everything's all done. The whole running gear from front to back is brand new. I also went and did some interior upgrades. I went and put leather bucket seats in it. Brand new, basically new frames, new everything, new springs, new everything. So the interior is basically brand new. And that is it. Anyway, God bless you guys. I appreciate y'all watching my video. You know, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe.
They wanna see you back off of your calling, yet they tryna mess with your sign or something. For lack of a vision, and people could perish, commit to the climb, even when it hurts. Only 2 things in life you can control. It's how you spend time and how hard you work. So hard work, God first, yeah.